Hello there, Mr. Ellison. How are you? You're looking
Very good, Mr. Well.
respected. You almost look quietly smug for some reason, but we're going to come to that in a second.
Hmm.
That's like, I mean, to be fair, you're quietly smug all the time. So, so first of
Thank you
all,
for
obviously,
noticing.
yeah. First of all, look, just massive congrats. Obviously, I can't believe it. Genuinely was only last week, wasn't it? It
Yeah,
seems like it
yeah,
was ages ago, but you won the overall Agent of the Year at the obviously the EA Masters, the biggest event of the year. I mean, first of all, just let's kick straight into the emotional. How did it feel at that moment? Because at the minute she read it out,
yeah. I think it was difficult to describe. I think the fact we won the best single office
yeah,
was massive for us, and I think we genuinely it was great because we took the view this year that we take the whole team up. We always take them up to London for Christmas,
yeah,
because we've got a lot of things going on this year. We thought, well, we're going to do something more local. So we decided we were just with this event, and we knew we'd been shortlisted
yeah,
because they sort of tell you and they want to come and do a few bits with you. So and we had a couple of our guys that were up for individual awards.
yeah. That's always great to see, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, so we just thought, look, we'll take the whole team up. So pure chance, really, that happened. So the fact we won best single office for us was amazing,
yeah.
and you still sort of sat there discussing that when they do the shortlist for the top
Because
one.
it does because obviously there's a lot of agents in there. I mean, there's what is it over 1,000 people in there, and you're thinking like, what's the chances? I think I remember Peter Rowling saying, look, everyone in that room deserves the chance. You know, has got the that can show why they deserve to be in there.
Yeah.
And then, but suddenly there it moves quite quickly, doesn't it? It goes through those later stages where, as you said, it goes from single office and then it goes up to the next level, and then all of a sudden, obviously, it was you guys obviously walking up on stage.
Yeah, and you get that short when you get the overall winner and they do the shortlist. There's only four of them, and you see the big names up there. And I think it's one of those things. I think as a one branch agent, you kind of think it's not going to be us. You know, you can't win it, but because there's always you always look at these agents around the country and think, well, they've got this, they've got that, they're really good. And then when they call your name out, it was a bizarre moment. It was fantastic.
So let's talk about that because obviously, as you highlighted there, you're a single office agent there competing with these, national networks who, they have all of these logistical hubs, they have marketing resources and everything else. You move, I think, famously won it for 3 years on the trot or whatever else there. So you're going up against absolute behemoths there. But what do you think it says about the playing field in our industry right now? I think it must be quite encouraging, isn't it, that the smaller independents can still be more nimble. And look, everybody who knows you as a business knows what your market share is like, knows what you can achieve. But what do you think it does say about the market where we're up to at the moment?
I think it's probably as it always has been. It's all about the people. It's all about your staff. It's about how good those people are. And I think, in fairness, actually, it's not probably the nationals and the big agents that you look at as being the potential winners. I think it's more the probably the middle-sized agents, the 5 to 20 branches.
Yeah,
I think where they're big enough to have a marketing department and customer service departments and things,
yeah,
but small enough to be agile and adapt to markets.
yeah,
I think the benefit of being small is you look after your people, you work with them every day. I think the training they get is straight from you,
yeah.
rather than from a scenario that's put in place in a training room. They are dealing with day-to-day real life scenarios, listening to us on the phone, hearing about what we say. So I think what it shows is that any business across the UK, doesn't matter where you are, because we're not in a big city, we're in a
Mm.
small town. Um, so it just goes to show if you do things properly, and one of the things I say to sellers all the time, there's no magic to this business. It's just do it properly.
Yeah.
And it shows that actually, if you do it properly and you're good, it works.
Do the basics incredibly well, and
Yeah.
without the loads of glittery marketing and everything else there. So if you were to, I mean, so talk. I'll come back to the secret sauce in a minute, but in terms of that, you raised it there a bit about the team. What does training and development look like in your office? Is it very much that they're working in tandem with you guys and they're doing it on the job? How do you get the culture and keep that culture going? Obviously, within for your team.
I say first of all, it's our behaviour.
Yeah,
So as owners of the business, we're in here every day. We run the morning meeting. We go through. we go through all this simple stuff, viewings, valuations, we go through all those in detail.
Yeah,
We'll talk about scenarios and what we've done. I think we do have sessions with the guys, so we'll pull them upstairs and we'll go through how to do evaluation and how to do a viewing and all this sort of stuff, all the basic stuff. But
yeah,
most of it, and we go out with them, we've taken them out on appointments so they can see how we do it.
yeah,
Um, but a lot of it, I think, is them simply being sat next to us, listening to the conversations we have, watching when something happens, how we react to it, how we deal with it, what our next steps are, and just living it. And I don't think there's any substitute for that. I've been in the corporate world, I've been in classrooms where they train you,
yeah,
and and the old thing, you go back to fees.
yeah,
Any training is, oh, it's not about the fee.
yeah,
And it is.
yeah,
Okay. They're not going to choose the cheapest fee. No one admits to choosing the cheapest fee, but it's
yeah.
how you show the value in what you provide. And I think by those guys watching us and hearing what we say, there's no substitute for that, just being in the real world.
And we're talking about that secret sauce as well. If there were key ingredients to your success, we mentioned the team there. That I think that's first and foremost the people there. Do you describe it to anything else? Because I mean, Peter Knight talks about obviously all those millions of data points that they're using across people like 20EA and we'll come back to reviews and everything else. But what do you think in terms of helped you stand out?
I think being on it, I've thought about this a lot actually, because I thought it's the sort of question I'm going to get asked.
Yeah. By what? By mundane interviewers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Parky, are you? But
Same standard questions. Well, I'm not Chris Watkins, but I listen to your answers. That's why I'm different to Chris Watkins.
I've not seen it yet. I've not seen it.
Oh, don't worry, it'll be on to you. Don't worry. He's never
Um,
he's never more than 2 feet away from an award. That fella.
no, well, yeah, he did interview us very quickly afterwards, and I think
Yeah,
all I can remember is standing there as he was talking to Adam,
yeah,
and I've kind of got this glazed. I could feel it. I was just this glazed look on my face, looking around, thinking, "What's going on?" He must have thought I was a right idiot. But I think, listen, without sounding or they're trying to teach people to suck eggs. I think basically what we do really well is we deal with the detail. And
yeah,
what I mean by that is we look every day what viewings are in our diary and who are those viewings with and
yeah,
where is any business coming from them. Have they got a house to sell in our patch? What we're doing about it? Have they
yeah,
got one in someone else's patch? Do we know the agent there? And
yeah,
the valuations, where are they? Have we been there before? Do we know anything about these people?
yeah,
Why are they looking to move? What does their house consist of? And it all sounds basic, but by going through that detail day in, day out, and it's probably quite monotonous at times,
yeah,
um, but it keeps you on it. And as you said earlier on, and I've been in meetings with you before, and I sort of laugh when we go around the room, we talk about what people have done, and a lot of people say, "Oh, we've gone back to basics."
yeah.
I think don't leave the basics. It's so
Yeah,
simple.
why did you depart from that in the first place? Would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
the first one, wouldn't it? Was there anything kind of at all pivotal, or has this just been, that you've changed at all that's promoted you, or do you think this is just continual iterative improvement year on year?
Yeah, I think yeah, I don't think there's been anything monumental that we've changed. I think it's team. If I'm honest with you, we've had good teams over the years. We've always had a very, very good business. We employed, so what we did 2 or 3 years ago, we had a lot of people been with us for a long time. I'm talking 12, 15, 16 years. We've still got people been with us over 20 years. We always employed more mature people of our sort of age because the town we're in, we just felt that was the right thing. And then we went out of our comfort zone. We employed two young lads
Yeah,
um, who just turned out to be brilliant, and we employed another one a year later. And we've got three lads there. One's just turned 21, the other two are 25, and uh, they're just like we were 30 years ago. I know
better,
you can't believe, I know you can't believe I was in my 20s 30 years ago. But they've been brilliant. They're a breath of fresh air, and they're just hungry and driven, and it's taken a lot of pressure off us. But I've got to say, them and our office manager's been with us for 20 years.
yeah.
They just work so hard, and they're just good.
So people obviously is always the biggest challenge in a business there, and I
Mm.
think there's quite a lazy, probably with some merit though, that actually Gen Z and everything else like this, try and keep them in the room and keep them inspired. But actually, and I've heard you talk about your guys, obviously how hungry they are. Do you mind me asking, did you go down the traditional recruitment mode? How did you get to those guys? I suppose because obviously to get not one but two are so hungry is I mean you'd say it's brilliant recruitment, but what's a bit of detail around that?
Uh, well, one of them I've known since he was about 8 years old.
Okay.
I coached him. I was a manager of a football team. I coached him for several years. Um, and I always thought he'd be an estate agent.
Really?
Um, he is a one-man party. He's not dissimilar to yourself.
Well, I
He-
wasn't judging you lot. When I came over to your table, I saw a certain spark there. There was, yeah, it
yeah,
was
that was
every other
those
moment of
three.
the night.
Yeah, and that went on as well. Um, but I always thought he would be, but he needed to, I think, just be a bit polished, more polished. And he went into a corporate world, which is
Yeah,
perfect because they
good
teach you
ground.
certain elements of it, and then you can take them back out, polish that off, and get rid of the stuff they don't need to know. So that was him. And the other one I met at a 21st birthday party.
Yeah,
Um, I'd had a little bit too much to drink, and I was taking the mickey out of him. Um, but he was a good lad, and so
yeah,
I kind of knew both of them. One of them more so than the other. And my business partner actually was very concerned about taking Fraser, the first one, taking him on because of our relationship. And
yeah,
I got that because we were very close.
yeah,
Um, and you don't know how those dynamics may work.
yeah,
But those two came in and they were top draw. So they've come naturally through us knowing them. The other one did come from a recruitment consultant that we've known for many years, and I think he'd actually been lined up for another job, and he just said, "Look, you want to talk to him because he
yeah.
knows what we like, the recruitment guy." And so we spoke to him, and and just to give you a good example, okay, this is where you can get this is when we talk about the simple things.
Yeah.
This guy, Charlie, walks into our office for our interview. He walked in, he's turned to look at me and said, "Hi, Mark, I'm Charlie." He looked at Adam, said, "Hi, Adam, I'm Charlie." So immediately, the fact he knew, and obviously to know who we are,
Yeah.
but for someone to actually say, "Hi, Mark, hi, Adam," immediately, for me, immediately I'm thinking, there's something about him.
It's
And
the
it's,
little bit. It's the little bit important things, isn't it? I mean, if
yeah,
everything, if any, if this game, look, I'm going to come on to tech because I'm a boring tech person, and we've argued, and everyone's discussed about what AI is going to do, but AI is never going to have that connection, isn't it? And this is if you can focus on keeping that part of it special and different and doing more than everyone else, you're always going to be, you're always going to be ahead of the game, aren't you?
yeah, yeah.
So do you mind me asking then, what part are you pro tech in business? Do you see it as a distraction? What do you do? Are there essential bits of prop tech that you see within the business? Where does all that side of things stack up for you?
um, I like it all. I love it. I'm fascinated by it.
Yep.
I think we're probably not really that high tech. We use a CRM, and we use people like Niche.com to do the photographs, and but there's nothing we use. I would say that is particularly AI. We do use ChatGPT on a few bits and pieces now, but it's very minimal. I think we do want to use it more,
Yeah.
and I think for a business like ours, this is where it's difficult, is having the time to invest in looking at what works because we are still frontline.
Yeah.
So we still rely on the fact that it's a people business. You're dealing with people. There's no substitute for the phone
Yeah. No, no,
and the connection. And as much as bots can do certain elements of it and book appointments and things, in the real world, it's still that personal connection.
yeah. If only there was a business that could help you with your tech
I keep
choice.
looking. I keep looking. Yeah, it's a
Can't,
shame.
can't find anyone. There's just no one
Yeah.
else there that
Yeah.
knows
If
the right.
only someone would stick their head out there and be all out there, then we'd see them. But
I
yeah,
think I think what a lot of agents will take from that though, isn't it? Because we're always being told, aren't we? If you're not ahead of this AI curve, you're going to be out of business. But actually, using the right technology and without being distracted by the shiny things, again, a lot
yeah,
of people will be saying, actually, that's great. That's just great agency to be able to understand that.
Yeah, and I think with
Without
this,
being a Luddite about it, because I think
yeah.
there's nothing more boring than somebody who just has a go at technology all the time, is it? There's clearly there is some great tech out there that can help you out with stuff, as you've already highlighted.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff there, and I think a lot of the CRMs now are getting better. And we've had ours for a long time, and there are, I would say, more fancy, shiny ones out there. But part of it, you think actually by not having that, does it mean that we're talking to people more and having that more personal relationship with them? Um,
Yeah, I definitely know some of the trainers who say, look, you can become a slave to the CRM if you just religiously. I think Julian O'Dell used to talk about it. He could tell which CRM somebody was using when he rang into an office because he could tell the flow that
yeah,
they're using on the
questions.
system, and that feels wrong, doesn't it? If you're getting into that kind of says no routine and everything else,
Yeah,
maybe having the right balance of tech again forces you to concentrate on the human
yeah,
elements of it. Okay,
yeah.
cool. Well, I'll tell you what. So in terms of how do how do you kind of, apart from that attention to detail, you clearly got great reviews. I mean, we see that across, on your Google reviews and everything else there. Do you have a big focus on getting reviews and looking at your reputation, or is that just a byproduct of everything else you do?
Yeah, and again, slightly probably a bit embarrassing, really, is that we did a few years ago go through a bit of a stage where we were very not pushy, but we requested reviews,
Yeah.
I think we do now and again. I don't. We're not right on that. I think again, it goes back to your staff. We've got really nice people and I'm not just saying that, they are nice, genuinely nice to people. And I think the reviews we get are generally about the way we dealt with people. Not so much the result, but actually the way that we made them feel. And I think that when you've got nice people that actually want to help and want to do the job properly, it comes across. You don't need to try and make that happen. And so, yeah, the reviews we get are, yeah, it's lovely, but we probably, in fairness, should push it a bit more to get more.
I think knowing the numbers you do, I mean, you've got a great load. I can't remember; it was almost just shy of 300 Google reviews. Obviously, very high rating there, but absolutely in terms of, well, look, we got something for you on that, but don't we'll talk about it. I just think it's what's nice about reviews there, isn't it? Is sometimes the public can get a little bit lost in terms of market share, listings, so exchange, all that language can overwhelm them, but they
Yeah,
do understand Google as a brand, they understand five-star reviews. So I think it's an important way to separate yourself because
yes,
actually, when you have so many more than your local competitors and they know you're an agent that delivers, you've got both things going on, haven't you?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
you can do the job in letting or selling the property, but you're gonna actually look after the client as well whilst they're going through the process. And I'm not sure everybody really gets that.
No, and I think no, you're absolutely right, and I think we all, whether we think we do or not, I think we all do look at reviews whenever we look to buy anything or use any service. You want to look at the reviews, and I think most people are wily enough to realise that there's always going to be bad reviews, and there's always going to be people that are upset and want to make you look really bad. But
Yeah.
actually, in the main, when you look at reviews, you get a pattern, and you see actually, I can see these guys are good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
there's nothing more suspicious than 2,000 reviews, five-star reviews. It's like, and, in my world, and I like my food on Deliveroo. That that restaurant only opened last week. How's it got all of those ones there?
yeah.
Obviously, it wouldn't be obviously an obligatory Simon Whale interview without me obviously making it all about myself, or indeed let's say obviously we've got this. Well, that's the other side. Obviously, you've been an absolutely proud member of RAN for absolutely years now. You sit on our advisory committee, and we all pray on your every word when you impart your knowledge when you're not winding up the other members of the AC. What part of RAN played over the years in your business? I mean, you're obviously fair to say as well. You're a member of the guild, so you're a member of these very strong, obviously, affiliation networks. Where do you see those supporting a strong independent like yourself?
I mean, we've spoken about this before, and Ran obviously been, and I think I don't know if Chris Hope is still there thereabouts in the advisory council. Otherwise, I think I'm the longest serving on there, and I love it. I think
You
the,
look at
the
you after you look at you after your gold clock there, aren't
yes, yes, I
you?
am. Yeah, yeah. Just wait for him to leave, and I can stand there. And I think it's about community, and I can sum this up, okay, without boring people that may watch this. After last Tuesday, we won this award.
Yeah,
Okay. On the Thursday, I got a call from someone that people know very well, Simon Bradbury.
yeah, yeah.
And
Love it.
Simon was in,
Brilliant,
ran,
wasn't he? Thomas
brilliant.
Morris for years and now
Yeah.
Xperia.
And a serial award winner.
Yeah,
Serial award winner. He was on the advisory council with me for many years, and we had our conversations at times, myself and Simon. We didn't always agree on things, but we've got a good relationship. He phoned me on the Thursday, out of the not out of the blue, just on an award, but he didn't need to phone me. He could have texted me.
yeah.
He phoned me, and it was that phone call, and just the way. I mean, Simon, he uses a lot of wows and F words, but he was genuinely pleased that we'd won. And he just wanted to say, mate, I just want to say well done to you. And it's that community. And I had other people, there's other people who phoned me and sent me messages, but it was that phone call. And that's purely a RAND thing. That's purely the community of being part of something bigger where we support each other, we help each other. And if I want to know something, if I've got a question about anything in the industry or even anything to do with staffing or whatever,
You can
I
ask
put it
those
into a
questions.
WhatsApp group and you get answers.
I think that's
Um,
really, because we were talking about tech, and actually, it's very easy in this digital age to get quite distant and disparate. And I think it's
yeah,
more important than ever that you have those times in a room with non-competitive agents where you can be really, really open and honest about it, isn't it? It genuinely, as I said, as a tech person, I think that's been the most thing I've enjoyed most getting involved with RAN is that human aspect of it again. And I think
yeah.
that's
I
needed, isn't
think
it?
the advisory council is fantastic, but even the local meetings, we had one 3 or 4 weeks ago, and just it's the support. It's the support. And I spoke to a guy yesterday, and I need to speak to Adam, who came up to me because we were in a guild meeting, and Rand was mentioned there, and he came up to me to ask about it. Um, and he was exactly the same thing. What is it about Rand?
Mm.
And I just said it's just feeling of togetherness. And if not everyone likes to have meetings for meeting's sake, but when
No.
you can sit in a room with like-minded people that are running their own business, that it is lonely out there sometimes. Um, how do you do what you do? How can you help us? What is it that you guys are doing? Which suppliers are you using?
Because that
Um,
key one, Mark, isn't it? We're talking about. Let's say you were looking at CRM. You can't go to
yeah,
your high street competitors and say, "Oh, can you tell us if you're CRM?" They're not going to give you an honest answer, are they? But in
yeah,
that environment, that's a really useful. And I think peer reviews and hearing from people you trust is probably
yeah.
still the most important recommendation you can get, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Because they'll be honest with you. They'll give you the bells and whistles, but they'll also say to you, "But this is an issue," and then you can make your mind up which bits are important.
Great. Well, look, how do you beat being best in the UK? Is it just an onslaught now on all the others, or is it just keeping that consistent? Because we like football. I mean, not that you'd know it, obviously, given that you support United and I support Liverpool, but keeping that success at the peak is the hardest element, isn't it?
Yeah, as you're finding out at the moment. You know, but
A
um,
sneaky little couple of fingers, haven't it?
yes, I think if I'm honest with you, look, we've won it based on what we've done.
Yeah.
So why would you change it? So I don't think there's any plans to do anything differently. I think what it probably does is for us, it's that reminder, and we had it this morning. We're a week in, and we've already said to someone this morning about something that's happened. That's not best in the UK service. You know,
Mm.
this is
Yeah.
what you need to remember. You are the best in the UK. Is what you are doing the best in the UK?
Yes. Well,
And if
look,
it's not, you got to change it.
Well, look, you're going to be on stage at the RAN conference. Obviously, we're going to
Yes.
be grilling. Get used to saying all this again.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we'll just play it and we'll do it. But we're fat. I think what's brilliant is I think we're going to be on stage here. You've got Mark Manning, obviously one over at the Kerfuffle. He's a great agent,
Yeah.
obviously there. I think what I'd love is everybody says that RAN conference is the agents. It's almost surprising. God, they're such nice people, and I
Yeah.
think it's not just nice, but they are successful, aren't they? For a reason. That quality breeds quality, which is great.
Yeah, yeah. When you get some of the people, as I said, caliber of people that came up to me and have messaged me and phoned me since, um, you kind of you think they don't know who I am, but they do, and they do recognise the brands, and I think it's because they all feel, and there's a genuinely a lot of people that were very happy because we were a RAN agent.
Yeah.
And they all felt that they shared a little bit in that success because we're part of the same group.
And
Um,
look at all the comments you were getting. I mean, obviously
yeah,
it was absolutely great. It was there. Well, look, Mark, couldn't be more pleased for you. Great. It was great to
mate.
see you in the team, and as I said, we'll see you in a few weeks. But for now, congrats.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers,
See you
Tat.
later.
Cheers. Bye bye.